As the tech world continues to grow, we need to question the kind of talent and diversity the industry is seeking. While many assume a STEM degree is the best option for a tech career, Cynthia Huang makes a thought-provoking case for why a humanities degree may be worth more. Cynthia is an experienced startup founder who co-founded Altcoin Fantasy, a crypto trading simulation game with 250,000 plus users worldwide, and Airhosts Forum, the #1 Airbnb host community. Her published works appear on sites like Hacker Noon, The Startup, and CoinMarketCap. She's also been featured in interviews on Thrive Global and Authority Mag. I'm excited to welcome Cynthia to the Leading Tomorrow Summit, and I hope you enjoy her presentation.
I remember reading a report shortly after earning my degree about the average salary among university graduates 7 to 10 years after graduation. I scrolled through the list and went down, and down, and still further down. Finally, at the bottom, it said English literature majors had a mid-career salary of $37,000. Only drama and art history majors were lower. And we all know those aren't real degrees. My takeaway? Prepare to live in my mom's basement forever, eating cat food. Thankfully for my mom, I did manage to buck the trend. I have my own home, and unfortunately for my husband, I am married. I also have a great career in tech of all things. I only eat cat food now for fun, not for necessity. How accurate that report actually was can never be known. I mean, maybe it's survivor bias and only the people living in their parents' basement eating cat food are filling out these surveys. However, what it does point to is that there's a belief, as well as a perpetuated reality, of discounting the value of those of us with humanities degrees. For my fellow liberal arts majors, how many times have you heard, insert your humanities degree here is so easy and isn't a real major? When you look at the tech industry, these beliefs and attitudes are even more pervasive. After all, engineers are gods in the tech world, and if you don't have a technical degree or background, you're worse than chopped liver. Like, maybe chopped cat food. Why is this a problem? We know that tech has a diversity problem. A report from Statista in 2020 shows that roughly 30% of all tech jobs are filled by women. Compare that to women making up 47% of the U.S. civilian workforce. Do any research on diversity of women in tech, and article after article will cite that the reason for the lack of women is because the percentage of women studying computer science and STEM degrees has gone down over time. Let me repeat that. The reason for the lack of women working in tech is because the percentage of women studying computer science and STEM degrees has gone down over time. What this tells us is that you're only worthy of a tech job if you have a computer science degree. The tech industry is telling us, we only want you if you're just like every other white male engineer, except you happen to be female. As a female, you're already fighting bias every step of the way in tech. As a non-technical female, you're fighting a double bias, being female and being devalued for your non-technical degree. If you're a minority who's also female and non-technical, just throw in the towel right now. This kind of attitude is exactly what prevents people, and not just women from other backgrounds, to even consider a career in tech. This was the same attitude that I came up against when I first tried to find a job in tech. Now you might be thinking, okay, Cynthia, I get it, but who cares? There are a multitude of benefits to having more diverse teams, but I'll focus on 4. More money, more talent, more innovation, and more happy customers. First, my capitalist friends, having a more diverse company will make you more money. According to a McKinsey study from 2020, companies with more diverse teams have a 35% performance advantage over companies that are less diverse. More diversity, more money. Second, more diverse teams have a trickle-down effect to attracting and retaining better talent. There's fierce competition for top talent, and diverse companies are much more attractive to these unicorns. Millennials and Gen Z are making up much more of the hiring pool, and these 2 generations care much more about companies that reflect their values. They won't hesitate to avoid working for companies who don't share their commitment to important issues such as diversity and inclusion. Third, if you look at innovators like Sally Krawcheck, CEO of Elvest, Steve Jobs, founder of Apple, and Richard Branson, founder of Virgin Group, they're standouts in their field because they bring disparate ideas to new industries and have non-traditional backgrounds that have helped them look at their industries in new and different ways. Sally Krawcheck has an undergrad in journalism, and she recognized the opportunity to serve women through financial products built specifically for women. When she first floated this idea by Wall Street, they laughed. Now she's the one laughing, having hit $1 billion under management during the pandemic. Steve Jobs dropped out of pre-college after just 1 semester. In his famous Stanford commencement speech, he attributes part of his success for the Mac to a calligraphy course that he audited. He says, "If I had never dropped in on that single calligraphy course in college, the Mac would never have had multiple typefaces or proportionally spaced fonts." Having these features was actually a key reason why Mac stood out from its competitors. Apple wouldn't be Apple without its aesthetically beautiful products. Richard Branson had dyslexia, performed poorly in school, and ended up dropping out of high school at the age of 16. Yet he's built hundreds of successful businesses across many different industries. His net worth today is $4.7 billion. Not too shabby for a high school dropout, right? Innovation doesn't only come from the prototypical engineer from Silicon Valley. Finally, for my product friends, having diverse people will lead to better products. When we have more perspectives included in the product development process, we build better and more inclusive products that lead to better user experiences. Let me give you a great example of this in action. I'm sure you've all heard of Clubhouse, the social voice app. When some users with non-English names tried to sign up, they were told their names weren't real and they couldn't register. People who had first and last names with less than 3 characters or who had an apostrophe in their name were told, "People use real names on Clubhouse. Thanks." Imagine being told that you don't have a real name from an app that can't even spell or use punctuation. Appalling, right? If Clubhouse had people from more diverse backgrounds, they may have had the insight to approach user registration with more empathy and think through all the possible name formats that exist. Now you might be thinking, all those famous people you mentioned are outliers, and if we hire non-technical people, or God forbid, English majors, we're going to lower the bar. So I want to include a few examples of 3 everyday people who have succeeded in tech, not in spite of their humanities degrees, but because of their humanities degrees. Maya Gold Patterson is a design lead at Twitter, and she majored in psychology at Washington University in St. Louis. Her degree helped her ask questions like, why do people make certain decisions? Why do communities have problems? It's this same thinking that helps her understand how to design experiences at Twitter. Her job is to understand why people use it, to understand the delightful moments, in moments that aren't easy, and to make communication easier, better, and more meaningful with Twitter. Without her psychology background, she wouldn't have been taught in time to think about user experience design in this way. She succeeded at designing incredible experiences at Twitter because she knows how to put people first. Kristen Womack is a principal program manager lead at Microsoft. She studied sign language interpreting and communications in university and went on to build 3 companies, one of which was acquired. Her degrees have helped her learn early on to connect with people and to see the world through a multidisciplinary lens. Her tours of duty through so many industries and career paths have given her a wealth of knowledge to draw upon and a unique and innovative lens to solve problems. Teresa Torres is the founder of Product Talk, aimed at helping product leaders build great digital products. She's also an internationally acclaimed author, speaker, and coach. Teresa recognized the importance of combining humanities with tech early on. Her undergrad degree was in symbolic systems, a major that combined computer science, linguistics, psychology, and philosophy to understand how both humans and machines process information. She understood that a humanities lens is critical to tech and making great products. She wrote a phenomenal piece about why design justice matters. This idea that certain products have an inherent bias, and by building for certain users, those biases and needs continue to get perpetuated in products. She's truly bringing her humanities lens to building the best products for all people and not just some. I've already mentioned how I managed to land a tech job, even with a non-technical degree. I've had 5 careers in the last 10 years, starting with being an insurance underwriter, to being a product manager, to working in innovation strategy, to being a crypto startup founder, and now product marketing and new market expansion strategy in the cannabis space. In every single career I've had, it's because of the skills I learned in my English literature degree that has made me find success. My writing and communication skills are crucial in my roles running complex projects. My ability to research, digest, and understand huge and complex ideas were a product of all of the research papers that I completed in my undergrad. I literally wouldn't be where I am if it weren't for my English degree. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping the world benefit from having the perspectives and experiences of people who have so much to offer the tech industry, but who haven't been given a chance because they don't fit the mold of what a typical tech person looks like. I almost didn't get that chance, but I know how valuable my perspective has been in each of my roles because of my unique background. But more than just opening people's eyes to the wealth of knowledge and experiences those of us from the humanities have, there's a more insidious problem I want to solve. When we hire the same kinds of people in tech over and over again, we perpetuate the cycles of inequality that exist in societies because the wealth gets shared between the same types of people over and over again. People from middle to upper class families, men, white, cisgender. To break the cycle of inequality, we need to open the door to allow people who wouldn't normally fit within the mold of a tech person to have those same opportunities. So, what can you do? Deliberately challenge yourself to look for candidates outside of normal channels. Interview people who may not have all of the things that you normally look for on paper, but who have other experiences that could be equally as valuable as hard skills. Start noticing people around you and what backgrounds they have and what unique skills their background gives them. Bring people together from different backgrounds so that they can learn from each other. The point here isn't to say that one discipline is better than another. Instead, we can make a richer world when we all work together to bring our strengths together. Those who know me know that I love quotes, so I'll leave you with this quote from Rene Descartes. We do not describe the world we see. We see the world we can describe. Imagine a world where the only things that exist are the things that you could dream or describe. Now imagine a world where billions of us contribute instead? Which world would you rather live in?